It's unfortunate that our baseline is fear. It was a very intense period in my life. I was just spiraling downwards. There's always a plan B. You will always figure it out. I can say hand on my heart, if I would lose everything, I would be back. If you're an adult, you drink, and that's how you let loose. Have you heard about the concept aesthetic dance? Dancing as a liberation and as a healing practice that awakens our spirit. Wild, screaming, shouting, dancing, expressing, and I just teared up and cried and cried and cried.
Today, I'm talking to a DJ, wellness advocate, and someone who's built a community around authentic living. Welcome, Dina Rogonja.
Entrepreneurship, it is all about timing. You become like your environment. Real, authentic relationships is what makes us grow. It's only when you really befriend and become a lover of your own light that you liberate yourself. That's where your liberation is. That's what they can't take away from you.
Dina, for people who don't know you, I would rather let you introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm a 32-year-old, coming first-time mama. In like 2 weeks max, I guess. I'm 38 weeks pregnant.
So exciting.
So exciting. So I think this is my last public endeavor that I do. We'll see if I can push it anymore. But beyond this greatest assignment in life, I am also a DJ. I am a musician. I am an entrepreneur. Founded and built a few companies, some that failed, some that succeeded tremendously, some that are still up and running. And much of what I do is kind of in like the wellness space. I would say wellness, embodiment. That's kind of like the ecosystem that I'm trying to build, and the niche that I'm in. But I hate the word niche because as soon as somebody tries to put me in a box, I'm like, get me out of there.
Yeah, but that's so powerful that you're just 32 and you have tried and failed at so many things already.
Yes, indeed.
And before we go ahead, I just want our audience to know that how I'm a big fan of your energy, because every time I think I've seen you 3 times, and every time I see you and I'm just like, laughing out loud, like, oh my God, I love your energy.
Yeah, well, it's up and down, of course. But I think what's important is that you show up as you are and don't hold back too much. If I would be sad or upset or something, I would, make you aware about that too. And that would probably make you feel safe in my space as well.
That's right.
So yeah, I appreciate that. So thank you.
So what made you do what you do now?
I think there's always been a little entrepreneurial kind of vein in me. I've always been a very curious explorer. My parents immigrated from the Yugoslavian war, and I was born in Sweden. Like my mom basically came to Sweden 2 weeks before I was born from this war, which was like a very brutal war.
Yeah.
They had to assimilate and they had to create a whole new life in Sweden. And it was a big hit for our family because they were completely alone with no, relatives or anything to help them. My mom was 22, my dad was 25. They were super young. In the household, like I really grew up with so much love and really this kind of like fighter energy of creating, stability and a life of their own in Sweden, but not just settling. They were really fighting to uphold their name because, my families came from really, really beautiful families as well, like lineage-wise. So they were proper fighters. I got to see that growing up. Then I was a tomboy. Like I was playing with the boys all the time because I was very active. Like I just wanted to do things, right? And I was up to no good. I definitely, I think I'm so thankful that my parents were very young and they were very busy, like making a career. So they kind of left me to the streets a little bit. So the streets raised me. And you would think that the streets of Sweden are super safe and super but we lived in this neighborhood that was filled with kids from all over the world, immigrants, right?
Wow.
So you kind of get like this influence from
Hmm.
all walks of life. I just felt like this split personality a little bit in my teenage years, where I didn't have any belonging, and I didn't feel Swedish. I didn't feel Bosnian. All I could think of was I just want to travel and I just want to explore and see. And eventually, like when I turned 18, I was like, I'm moving somewhere, anywhere where they take me and give me a job. And I moved to Malta. I lived in Malta for a year,
Wow.
worked in sales, so got good on that, which is a very important skill,
Yeah.
I would say, and any entrepreneur needs to know sales.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then I moved to Barcelona and I lived there for 3 years. Then there I really got deep into working with the community. I was headhunted for like a job to organize and manage 3 events a week for like this big language school.
Wow.
So we had like always one cultural event, one travel event, and one party event. So I was doing this for a long time, and it was a very intense period in my life. It taught me the wealth of building community, building
right.
events, and all of these things, and they gave me autonomy in that too. I was like 21, 20. But then, the reality kicks in, and you start to think of what's next, and I returned back to Sweden to study. I have like academic background in industrial engineering, so I just went there for a bit to make mama proud, give her
Yeah.
the little paper.
But I mean, I would have never imagined that you are an engineer now.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I've had some use of it. I mean, there's things that you learn in university that will always be good. But at the same time, in today's day and age, I don't know. I just feel like the internet is so vast, and
Yeah.
if you go to university to learn discipline, great.
Yeah.
Or if you have a big dream, like where, I mean, we can't have doctors not going to university,
Yeah.
then go ahead. But ultimately, I do think that, if you have discipline, you can learn by yourself and cut those 3-5 years to
That's
1 year.
right. That's right.
But either way, it was good for me. I met my partner, Julius, who is the love of my life, my soulmate, my everything. And neither me or him had any previous relationships, like real relationships, before we met. And yeah, when we did, we were lovers, and then we became best friends, and then we kind of became a couple, and it was a beautiful journey. And as soon as we were like, okay, yalla, let's go, like it's me and you, baby, then we both like it was a spark. It was just like, okay, what's next? What do we create? Where do we go? What do we? And I started working with his twin brother, actually. We started building out a company for B2B with like website designs, and working with smaller companies, building out their marketing. And then we did wedding photography and all of these, just anything we can get our hands on, really. Any clients we can get our hands on that needs a digital presence. From that, Julie was like, he was a barber, and he said, I can't do barbering anymore. He was the best barber in all Scandinavia.
Wow.
People were traveling to get a haircut from him. It was wild. And he's like, no, I can't do this. But what do I really want? I said, babe, we want freedom. That's what we want. Like, whatever comes, whatever we need to do to get that, that's what we want. We went down the, exploration path, and eventually we realized that e-commerce, that could be something, So we started learning everything about e-commerce, and developed one business. Was kind of like learning all the trials and errors there. And then the epiphany about the ARC drops came, and we came up with this really viral kind of hook and way of, because everything's about marketing.
That's right.
And also a big point here is that we dropped everything. I mean, work, everything. We're like, this is it. There's no plan B.
Yeah.
But I want to say there's always a plan B. People need to understand that you will always figure it out. I think a lot of people, they are like, we're going to need plan A, plan B, plan C, plans. The best is to just relax and go for your plan A, And then, because if you have a plan B, you will always think like, oh, I have this to fall back on.
That's right. And I mean,
know?
in a way, you are denying the plan A that it's ever going to work out or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So true. Even though I, as a woman, have a much bigger need for safety, I was shitting my pants. Like,
Yeah.
but the fact that I had like these pillars of crazy twins, guys, they're like, we're gonna do it. No backing down. Let's go. It's like, oh, okay, just surrender, you know. And it worked out really well. This is 4 years ago now, and it has come with a lot of trials and errors. And I think these past 4 years is what shaped me where I like to who I am today, obviously. But the past 4 years is now I'm getting deep into like, okay, what's my service? What's my legacy?
Yeah.
Right? So we'll get into that through your questions.
Yeah. So you're a DJ, you run wellness events, and you're building a community now. So do you think that the lack of not having a community in your childhood motivated you to build a community now?
I would just say that more the motivation of community has come to me not through lack. It's actually come from the realization of how much relationships has taught me. Like, I think that's the ultimate, you know, we can go and do all the healing practices and whatever, but like real, authentic, like relationships is what, you know, makes us grow. For me, it's more about like this desire of like creating spaces where people can really drop into their expression, you know, and who they just are, feel safe, and then from that place they can build like really nice relationships.
Yeah, authentic human connections.
You know, where regardless of who you are, where you're from, where whatever, you know, because when we started to build the Soul Session community, which is now a community here in Dubai, it's been a long dream of mine to take my music into the space of like sober dancing, because that's what healed. So, I mean, that's what woke me up. I had my biggest awakening through sober dance, and it was what led me back on the path of music. So now, you know, it's always like that, like the thing that we alchemize, the biggest thing that we kind of like go through and change, and it makes, you know, makes that big aha moment for us is normally what we want to give back, right?
Yeah.
So that's Soul Session for me is my way of like, guys, this is so good. You also need to experience it.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know?
I've been there once just before the Ramadan. That was my first time being at the Soul Sessions. I was like so amazed, but because this is something new, you're not like high on something, you're just high on life.
You feel high,
having
though.
fun. Yeah, you feel high. You're like, oh, people are going crazy. And I'm like, dude, this is so amazing. Like in the daylight, you're having so much fun and such good connection. There's like ice bath going on one corner. There's like DJ playing DJ. There's someone playing drums, and like it's so amazing. It was a next level experience for me as well.
Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Have you heard about the concept aesthetic dance?
Ecstatic dance.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard, but I think I mean I want you to explain it to our
Have you
audience.
ever been?
Yes, my first experience was in Auroville. Auroville. Have you heard about this place?
Oh, it sounds familiar, but
Yeah, so Auroville is in India, south of India, and it's very close to Pondicherry, and it's like, have you? I think you might have seen that big golden dome
maybe.
in pictures. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what Auroville is all about.
I'm sure it's like the birthplace of ecstatic dance or something like that, because this is a ancient, maybe it's not called aesthetic dance, but dancing as a liberation and as a healing practice and as a something you know, that awakens our spirit, right, is something that we have completely forgotten, right? And I mean, in India, like all these practices come from there, right?
Yeah.
And not just from there, but any ancient any ancient teachings will tell you all about
Yeah.
dance, right?
Yeah.
And I got introduced to this concept of aesthetic dance, what was it, 3-4 years ago. And prior to that, I was partying, like me and Julie. I mean, like for 10 years, I was the light of the party, right? Like I was on the the one that was standing on the bar, handing tequila shots to everybody. I was
Yeah.
like, let's go, and had the best time. And because it was like very culturally appropriate to have fun in that way, especially in Sweden. When I lived in Barcelona, oh my God, crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what you did to have fun. If you're an adult, you drink, and that's how you let loose. I actually thank it because I'm like, if it wasn't for alcohol, I probably wouldn't seen Julie's like authentic expression, until we had a proper party.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's so screwed up to me, poison in our society that we as adults cannot let go and let loose and just be our wildest selves without being intoxicated. And I'm speaking now for Western cultures predominantly, but I'm sure it's infiltrating heavily in like Eastern and everywhere,
Yeah.
I was that girl, the light of the party.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to see that it's kind of taking like a little bit of a negative turn, right? It became on a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Friday, and it's like, and it's socially acceptable. The alarm bells were ringing, and Julie was like, I'm focusing on my health now. I'm taking a step back. So I was like, okay, well, what is there to do? And then we went to Thailand, and I heard about this aesthetic dance. Told Julie about it. I was like, I'm going here. Like, I just want to dance. Because ultimately, the reason I was in the club was just because I wanted to dance. I wasn't there for the drinks. Like, the drinks was just a byproduct that I accidentally fell into. And so I was like, got into this whole aesthetic dance thing. Told Julie about it. He's like, no, I'm not going to that. That's weird. Like, why would I go and dance for 3 hours? You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to have phones. You're not allowed to do anything. You just can dance or meditate.
Yeah.
That's the rule. I was like, well, this sounds fantastic, So I went alone. And somebody on the way said, oh, you should have some cacao. I was like, yeah, I know about ceremonial cacao. I love that. Had that, went in, and I'm just looking at all these people, and I'm like, and everybody is behaving like a zoo. Is that like a zoo park,
Yeah.
Wild, screaming, shouting, dancing, expressing. I was like, and I just, fell in complete, like, I just teared up and cried and cried and cried for so long. And then eventually I started laughing so much. And then while I'm moving my body, right? Because you have basically it's like a 3-hour journey. You have a DJ that is taking you sort of on a ride through genres and through tempos.
Yeah.
And so that you kind of really either you go, really crazy, or you come back into your body, and it's a journey. It's very, very intentional musical journey that is meant to make you explore movement. And the energy of all these people is obviously making you feel, safe, and it makes you feel like, oh, well, I guess it's okay here to just do whatever.
Yeah.
To just let loose. So it was a big moment for me, a big breakthrough. Eventually, I even had my first like transcendental moment without any, drugs or anything. Like,
What do you mean by transcendental moment?
so it's basically when you are having, it's almost like it's almost like a Kundalini energy that shoots through your head, and like you're in this space of like light, and I had just like the clearest, it's a godly moment. You meet source, universe, God, whatever you want to call it. You have a little conversation almost, and I was basically told that, forgive yourself for what's been so far, and but you need to lay off the drink. Stop drinking. You have a bigger mission to proceed, and you need to be a bridge for the world.
Yeah.
And bring this, to the world, basically.
Right.
And I got like just this vision, almost as if, I can do this. I can bring music in this way.
Yeah.
To people. But the word bridge really stuck. I'm like fully, in this. I'm grieving, everything that I have put myself through. I'm shedding. I'm releasing like so much of like I mean, honestly, trauma that, club culture and all that causes. And then once I had shedded a lot of that pain, through movement, I just like gave myself like the biggest hug, and like so much love, for myself, for my body, for like this experience, like that we get to experience. Like I really felt I was a soul in a human body getting to like explore life,
Yeah.
which was like, what the hell? And I had never been religious or anything. I mean, that moment I became religious, if you can say it. So I go home, imagine, like, and tell Julie all of this, and where he's like miles away from me, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm like a whole new person, and he joins next week, and he gets my point.
Yeah.
And the next thing, I'm like buying a DJ set. I'm just doing all the things. I'm not putting any major, like strategy to it. I'm just like doing the steps very intuitively of like introducing music into my life again. Because
So that was the first time when you got introduced to DJing.
I had DJ'd. I had bought a deck like years prior to that, but it wasn't the timing. Like I kind of like tried, and I saw, oh yeah, I have talent, but I'm into other things right now. This time around, it had like a purpose, right? It wasn't for me and my ego boost, almost like it was just for something for my expression. And I just really knew deeply in myself that I need to, like, do not become, DJing is not a career for you. It's a mission, so don't just like take gigs just to take gigs. Like, you are bringing sober dancing to the world,
right.
like, however that's gonna look like. So if you get an invitation for that, take it, but don't go be a DJ in a restaurant, in the background. Like, that's
so
not
your
what you
why
do.
was really solid. That
My why was so solid, and it was thanks to that moment. And from there, I had many invitations to play at these kind of like aesthetic dances and so on, and getting my own style and understanding that concept. But then this word of like being a bridge was a little bit stuck, for me. And when we decided to move to Dubai, like I told Julie, like, I'm gonna build this stuff there, because there is the people that are hungry to make a change,
Right.
and like it's the right people, like just people, wealth, everything,
Yeah.
It's like so much energy
That's
in
right.
Dubai. Like, I don't
That's
think people
right.
are aware. Left, I mean, bad energy, good energy, whatever, but it's so much energy.
Yeah, I mean, Dubai is so fast paced, and they do need these kind of things
They
too.
need this,
Yes.
And I was like, okay, well, there is already some aesthetic dance here, but those are, I mean, how likely is it that John from DIFC doing finance is going to go to an aesthetic dance? Like,
That's
it's
right.
highly unlikely.
That's right.
It's almost as if you give them you paint the cake, but they're getting the broccoli. Like, that's what I wanted to build. Like, so I was just waiting for the timing, and then this trend of coffee party comes in, and I was like, that's it. That's the thing that I can leverage.
Right.
In entrepreneurship generally, like, it is all about timing. That's why presence for an entrepreneur is so important, because you're present of the landscape that's going on right now, because if you're in your head and you have this single-minded focus on something, you're excluding all the opportunities that is constantly evolving all the time. Every moment there is new opportunities.
That's right.
Then the right partner came in, Joy, who is like, she's the community builder. I want to attribute that to her, because she has endless energy for people.
Wow.
I don't. I love people.
Yeah.
But I need my space. I'm like a creator more than to have like that energy for people. So perfect team came together, and it's just been flowing. It's literally like I really think when you have that guidance from something higher than yourself, it is flow. Even in this situation, we can't do any soul sessions right now,
That's right.
But life is still flowing. Like, we still have everything else the world needs this. The community
That's
needs
right.
it. We'll come back like
Yeah.
stronger, better. There's just that deep trust that you kind of get when you feel guided.
Yeah, and I think that's the fundamental of UAE's base,
Yeah.
that the fundamentals are so strong that they always come back stronger.
Exactly. That's a whole another thing. Like, I mean, being pregnant in a situation like, I don't know if your listeners like are aware, but like, yeah, a couple of weeks back we were hit with this whole Middle Eastern
Yeah.
conflict, right? Where Dubai is in the middle of it and the world is trying to paint it as if it's Armageddon happening here. But
Yeah.
nothing is really, if anything, I feel like there's even more trust. There's
That's
even
right.
more like, yeah, I want to stand solid to this
Yeah.
and like a unity. And, it's just a matter of like seasons,
That's
It's
right.
like, take it a little bit slower now. We'll be back stronger, better.
Yeah. I mean, people got some time to slow down,
Yeah.
but that has built a bigger trust in this country.
Yeah. I mean, we are obviously in maybe a privileged position. At least for myself, I can speak of like that. I have a global business, that is financially, supporting me. So, and finances are a big thing. Like, I mean, as a woman, at least that's what I can say. And I've been in this position like for a year or two or whatever now, where I feel safe, financially, and then I can create so much more space for creation.
I feel it's a skill that no matter how many things are going wrong around you, but you still find that light.
Wow, that's so beautifully put, actually. And it's that's what it isn't that like the point somehow?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you have to find happiness or peace, even the most chaotic times.
Yeah. And it's there. I think it's everybody can anchor to something
That's
to be
right.
grateful for. When you embody that state, you're just at a much better prejudice for the next
Yeah.
step,
Yeah.
I think that the war that's going on is not a war on, it's a war on money, a war on power, but most of all, it's a war on our state,
That's right.
and they are conducting war on fear. I mean, that's the drive. They have gotten enough people on a global scale that lives in a state of fear and that don't, believe in themselves that they can even make a minor change because they're afraid. They're like in their comfort, and there's like it would be terrible to sacrifice anything,
Yeah.
because what if because every day the news are just feeding us
Yeah. And you're just trying to hold on to
hold
everything
on
you
to
have. Yeah.
everything because you never know when you're gonna lose it.
That's
It's
right.
just like it's such a crazy loop and negative spiral that
Yeah.
fortunately too many people live in. I can say hand on my heart, if I would lose everything, I will be back. You'll see me like it will go much faster, much, I learn from my mistakes, all of this. Of course, I have fear too. There's so many things that I would wish that I could speak about and I can be even more expressive and more wild and more controversial, but those are things that I'm working on to push and to
Articulate them better.
articulate them better. It's not the time yet
Yeah.
because I'll be put in jail or something. So yeah,
We don't want that.
we don't
right
want
now.
that. I won't do much good from there.
Yeah.
But just slowly, steady,
Yeah.
working on that fear. I think fear is such a big thing everybody should really look into. Like, where do I have fear in my life?
Yeah.
And why? And where did it come from? And why is it running me? Why is this my autopilot? Once you look deeper and deeper into that, it's going to be easier to release it, and that's how you build the muscle. And then obviously, I think a lot that I have to thank for is this constant need of like new experiences is what has built confidence, to experience new things, people, all of this, it's what has built the confidence that I have. So yeah, get out of your rut.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
Yeah, that's really powerful. But coming back to what you just said, that you talk about people being more afraid of their own light than their pain. What was the mask you used to wear when did you realize that you were wearing one?
I mean, we're indoctrinated into suffering. We're like, that's what society is, feeding us all the time. As much as we want to think that they have, the best intentions in mind, somebody is always profiting off of you. If you think about it, no matter what level, it's only when you really befriend and become like a lover of your own light that you liberate yourself. That's where your liberation is. That's what they can't take away from you. I think that I've always had the spark of the light in me. So that's been like my little guidance. But I've had moments where I have lost trust and faith, that I could be free, like from suffering, let's call it. And that was definitely when I had an illusion of that I had worked through some trauma, and I was kind of like building a little bit of a spiritual ego, I would say, like towards kind of maybe my family and so on. Like, oh, I have broken that generational trauma. Like, I'm doing so much better, like almost, because I have figured it all out.
Yeah.
And then I went ahead and I made it. And one of my big things has actually been financial trauma, scarcity, lack, thinking that I'm in lack. And I thought I had broken free from that. We made an incredibly poor investment. Like we got, like, when somebody wants to scam you, you don't realize that, they're always ahead of you. Right? Because they go in with the intention
That's right.
of scamming you. And
100%.
people who are in this space of spirituality or wellness, or we are the most vulnerable people for scammers.
We just trust.
Because we lead with the heart, right? We want to do good. We want to help.
That's right.
So we're like the prize, right? So we were victims, you can say, of like people who had bad intentions and they set everything up perfectly. And I knew all along that was the worst thing. But the ego that I had built up around situations was what got me to proceed, basically. And that was obviously a very expensive lesson. But in that period, I was losing myself. Like I was completely like, I was feeding to this agenda, and my own decline almost, and so much shame, and so much like guilt and everything, and it was just spiraling downwards. I guess in order to find back to the light and have that be my source of power again, I had to come clean, come clean with myself. That it's my own fault. Perfectly also made up for me, for my own growth. To have that true experience of like, no, this trauma is not gonna define me. That has been generational and everything. And I'm still gonna persevere, not as oblivious as I was to just give my money to some stranger, but still have that personality that I don't want to be governed by my traumas. You know? There's always masks that we are shedding. So there's like million stories. Right now I'm suffering from something, but then you remember, oh, but wait a moment, that's not, we're not choosing that path. We're choosing this path. So it's a muscle. It's a muscle that we train.
You keep on training.
And you just keep on training, right? There's no ending to a healing. Like you just keep going, right? Learning. You don't give up.
So what was the lesson for you in there?
The lesson was definitely trust your intuition. I've become very clear on like how my intuition speaks to me. That instant feeling I get from somebody or something, it's law. I can give people, I treat everybody the same. I would even treat that person the same, But I should have listened to that. And I had the first conversation with him. It's you're gonna work together. You're gonna build something together. You're gonna.
But I think it happened for good, that it trained that muscle where now your intuition got so stronger.
That's actually the moral of the story is that nothing happens to you. It happens for you.
Right.
And that's where the difference is between, whether we want to choose to live in suffering or we want to choose to be in the light, is to acknowledge every single thing that had happened to us as an experience that is for you to evolve. Because ultimately, I mean, if you look at physics, like universe wants to express itself. Like it just wants to further express itself, experience itself almost, And that's how I relate to God as well. It's like creation and everything is just wants to experience itself.
Yeah.
Right? The more and more. And that's why I think the same rules applies to us humans. We're just a reflection, right? Of that. So we just want to experience ourselves, like through everything that happens to us, and evolve.
Yeah, so experience to expand.
Exactly. Boom, something like that. God, we're doing philosophical today. I think it's the baby.
Yeah, it's not you.
It's not me, it's the baby. Normally I keep it a little bit more pragmatic and but now I'm like, whoa. Feminine wisdom, speaking. But it's fun, I guess.
So Dina, in your experience building community and working with people, what are the 3 most common ways you see people hiding from their own power?
Overthinking. Too much in the head. Also some societal sort of norms about trusting their intuition, but also allowing themselves to actually have fun with it. Everything is so serious. Too serious.
Yeah.
Like you go into the wellness space or you go into biohack space, it's like everybody is so damn. I'm thinking, why would you want 20 years extra of your life if all you're gonna do is thinking about, oh my God, did I do this? Did I hop on that trend? Did I fix that? What's that gonna serve you? You're gonna waste those 20 years by thinking your way up to like to optimization, right? So I think like definitely becoming too serious is like one thing that I think is holding people back from their power. Overthinking and, also and not being in tune with their intuition. And all of these things actually comes down to the connection that we have with our body. Chinese and the Ayurveda and like all these ancient cultures, they know the power and the wisdom of that the body holds. Like it's a second, I mean, it is the ultimate guidance and brain. It's the foundation that we should have a connection with much rather than the brain, because brain is just patterns.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just so amazing that how our ancient people, they figured it all out. And I think we just spoiled it.
We just spoiled it. I mean, I'm not saying that healthcare and all of the things that we have today and like there's beauty in that too. And it's super advanced and it's like a utopia is obviously to bridge those two, right? And be like, wow, like we have it all. Like that body wisdom, that sovereignty that we could have to our own bodies, like is pretty insane that so little people experience it, And I can't even, I'm not even aware, because I have my circle, right, of people. So I don't even know how foreign this is, to have such a deep connection to your body, but it's actually insane. Like it's like 99% of people more don't have that.
Yeah.
They live here.
Yeah.
Just here. Even when they go in the gym, they're here.
Yeah. And I mean, recently only I discovered that it's actually hard to be here than taking the action to solve that problem which is getting you here. You just have to be more action oriented.
Yeah.
Time block that, okay, this is what I'm going to do at that time to solve that problem. Like prioritize, okay, these are the 3 things I'm going to solve today, and write it down and just stick to that. Take actions towards it instead of just sitting in your head.
I'm not saying that you should always be doing things, but the life is in the doing rather than in the thinking, right? And then when you have mastered the doing, then you learn how to be.
Right.
Because then you have trained that muscle, right? Like, okay, well, I know to take action and I know how to, be progressive and have structure. But then, like, I think the beauty in life, because take the feminine and the masculine, right? The masculine is the doing, the feminine is the being.
Right.
And the feminine is kind of considered the beauty, right?
Yeah.
So then you have the doing, you're mastering that and then you're like, oh, but wait a minute, I need to learn how to enjoy this as well, and the being, the juice of all this doing that I'm doing.
Right.
And then you embody that as well, and then you have balance.
So you said pregnancy taught you to descend into your body, where your real power lives. What do you mean by that? And how do high performers reconnect with their bodies?
Today's day and age, we have so many high performing, incredible, show-stopping women, like wow, terrifying. Which is amazing. And it's like but it's my wish for women is to, if it's not through a baby, understand and tune into how it can feel to create something, and then so I feel super privileged and super thankful that I have that I have built what I have, with Arc of Sweden and so on. Like, it's a company built, it's my family, right? We've gone through everything, all the challenges, and we are a team. And so they're obviously supporting me in this. And I have, I've already, cut all my ties with society, like in terms of how it could manipulate me. So I feel very safe in my body, and feel safe to experience the pregnancy, which not all women get to experience. I had a lot of time and to reflect on this feeling and what is actually happening, and being naturally interested in feminine power and wisdom, and that forgotten knowledge of the feminine, which is not just for women, it's for men too.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody would just remember where we come from, like the portal that you had to go through, both as the baby and as the carrier of the baby. Like, to me, it's just like, holy shit. Like, it's just mind blowing. It's like, and then you are experiencing it, and you're building it, and you're like literally making organs, while you're sitting in a business meeting. It's like just beyond fascinating. And you are the closest to God in this moment, when you're making this new creation that's supposed to live out his expression and expansion, and you just get like the greatest responsibility ever given to anybody, and that is just something that you can feel if you are in your body, like truly feel it, truly embody it. Is like this magnitude of like wonder and magic and miracle at work if you are inside of your body, right? And I think that has kind of led me to that. This whole thing, this whole life experience is just perfectly orchestrated. Everything is so perfect. Every person, everything is just so perfect. And I am like the main character right now in my story, of course, making this thing. So I'm just going to surrender, and just like whatever comes, I'm just going to experience it fully. And that ultimately also brings you from your mind into your body. And all of a sudden, things just unfold, they just unfold smoothly, appear. There's not much effort, really. And maybe I'm just good on timing again. But it being in the body has really led me to be so present that I know that everything is going to be fine, that I am taking the right actions, that I don't need to calculate and micromanage every little thing. But that it will come to me, everything in the right time, and it's trust. It's trust for something higher, but also trust for yourself that you are that powerful.
You are capable.
You're capable of seeing beyond the...
But it's just timing. But I think timing only happens when the universe sees that you're ready to take that thing.
Also,
that's only when you align with that universe power. If you're not ready to take that opportunity, then even the opportunity comes, you are not going to recognize it.
No.
And then you'll just let it go.
It will pass like a train.
You
won't hop on.
100%.
One thing that can be a little bit scary about being in this kind of opportunistic sort of embodiment is that there's a lot of opportunities all of a sudden, you know,
Yeah.
and that's another lesson to learn is how to say no.
Yes.
What is for you and what is not for you.
Yeah, and what is the opportunity and what's the distraction?
Exactly. So that's a hard one. But I also believe somewhere that instead of beating yourself up, you know, like, oh, I started this and I didn't finish it, or I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I do have I'm learning to give myself a lot of grace and a lot of, not just myself, but to everybody around me. I used to be such a tough, like to my team, to Julie, to his brothers. Like I was keeping an eye on everybody, on what they were doing and how they were progressing, you know, and I was doing that as a projection of my own, like that I didn't fulfill what I started, you know. So I was just projecting onto everybody else. And instead I'm like, no, like you start things, you don't finish them. It's okay. Maybe we'll serve a higher thing later. Like, you know, being hard on ourselves is just not, it doesn't serve anything, you know. Start the thing, drop it, you know, if it doesn't. And then later, maybe 5 years down the line, you'll be like, holy shit, it was so good that I learned about open claw. And yeah, because, you know, now we're here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I think there are two things which play a big role here. One is when you start something and you drop it, it's like it can be a sign of procrastination,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you know when to pivot to a better opportunity.
Yeah. It could either be, like you said, procrastination or it's pivoting. And I think that is the distinction that we need to make. Am I just procrastinating or am I pivoting? Because if I'm pivoting, then pivot,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, then just don't think or regret that, oh, why I
Exactly.
did that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so it's really important to reflect
Yeah, reflect.
and ask yourself the right questions at that moment.
Yeah. The brain has some use.
Some use.
Some use. I don't use it much lately. Some use.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about your viral post. The ultimate form of power isn't building empires, brands, or legacies. It's creating life from nothing. This challenges everything we are taught about success. Break this down for us.
Yeah. The businesses, the legacies, the this, the that is a byproduct when they actually are handed down a business, a legacy. So many times they like mess it up
Yeah.
or they're not happy. It's not true fulfillment. And fulfillment for me is
Yeah.
more success rather than just financial. So in terms of creating something from nothing, it gives you fulfillment. It gives you confidence. It gives you belief. It's in that creation energy that we give ourselves. We build that power within ourselves. It's just simple as that. I just don't think that business and you know legacies and this it's not a cool thing. A cool thing is an artist that creates from nothing. You know, something that touches people.
Yeah, like they create something out of their imagination.
Yeah. We create from something, you know, Arc of Sweden, our business, it was created from something, you know. But at the beginning, everything is just an idea. So it is nothing.
Yeah.
Until it's an idea.
Right.
Until it's an actual action. Until it's a this. Until it's like, where do we get, who has the money? Nobody has the money. Well, if we scrape 3,000 here, 6,000 here, you know, there's the money. So it is, like that is creating from nothing. Normally businesses and legacies, they're just maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just maintaining onto that.
You're just maintaining certain values, certain things, like you're not creating something new.
Yeah.
Creation for me is direct correlation with expression. So it's actually you expressing yourself through that creation. That gives you so much power too, right? Because you can say like, oh, that was me. You know, that was my input.
Yeah, so coming to that self-expression, you DJing at almost 9 months pregnant. Because self-expression is medicine.
Yeah.
How do you balance pushing boundaries with listening to your body?
Wow, that's such a good question. Oh my God, I don't. Like this morning when I was on my way here, I was like, girl, really? You could give birth in the studio.
Oh my God.
And my sort of like what I thought about it is like, okay, no, but you've there was something that said yes, so do the things that you have to do,
Right.
in order to set yourself up for a good foundation in order
Right.
to be able to do it. And I think that's the same thing with like DJing at 9 months pregnant is like, yeah, I want to do it. I love this is like I feel the best in that state, so why shouldn't I? But of course, it's not like I just wake up and like press play. Like it takes so much more preparation and like stay calm for a few days before and like just like feel into and tune into it. Am I capable to a degree? Yes, I want to push boundaries because yes, I think that we are holding ourselves back tremendously. So I do have that rebel in me that is just like, why wouldn't my baby love that mommy is rocking it out at
Yeah.
9 months? Like that doesn't make sense to me. So pushing that boundary, I know that it's gonna invite somebody else to push their boundary in some other form or shape.
That's
or form.
right.
And they will know. Like that's the whole thing about embodiment is that you will
Yes.
hear when it's not the right thing to do.
Right.
I was supposed to DJ, for example, last week, and I was feeling really terrible the day before. And I was like, listen, I'm just going to cancel it. I'm 9 months pregnant. I'm not feeling too good today.
Right.
Sorry, And then the ones that are meant to be by my side are going to come for the next one. And the ones that feels like, this girl can't hold her words. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to come. I don't need you here.
Right. The right people, they realize that who are the honest ones.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's actually so hard to say no
Yeah.
at such situations when you have already committed. I mean, I think that's where the people pleaser
Yeah.
thing comes in play. And you're just being honest, you're just being authentic.
Yeah. I will not like believe that we are supposed to like, kill ourselves, like by pleasing other people or going like that.
Yeah, and I think
yourselves.
people they don't realize that you will be respected more when you're being honest.
Yeah.
Even if you say no to them, you'll be more respected.
I had to learn that the hard way. I am definitely recovering people pleaser.
Yeah.
So, but the pregnancy has for sure, again, descending into my body, really feeling like it's almost the priority, right? You become your priority, period. Now, nothing else is more important than the job that I'm doing right now. And that is the wisdom of a pregnancy. I think like it's to return the power to its sole owner, which is me. Like I hold responsibility and yeah, my own power. And I think the like labor and giving birth is the next big initiation, right? It's the next big transcendental moment for like the woman, because on the other side, especially if you have to do it naturally. You have to, because there's no way that God created us this way
Right.
to not experience that ceremony. We women need to experience that to realize the power that we have.
Right.
To be on that other side and be like, I can do that? Well, I can do anything. And I can also say no to anything. And I can to anybody.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's when you really solidify like
Yes.
that knowledge, and the wisdom that pregnancy comes with.
Right. That's the real power.
That's the real power.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have criticized the wellness industry for being performative. What's the difference between being authentic and being performative?
Sometimes I question my own authenticity. I can see how much I'm like picking up from people. I'm like, you become like your environment, right? Sometimes, or like if I spend 6 months in Thailand, I become a hippie, or so it's like, what is authenticity really?
Yeah.
What is like true to you right now, like in the present moment, not like when you're not in your head, basically thinking, oh, am I doing the right thing? When you're not overthinking every single action or sentence or how you're being perceived.
Yes.
Right. I think that is ultimately authenticity. You don't really care how you're being perceived, and you're just simply okay
And being the bridge.
And being the bridge, yeah, it's
Yes.
awesome. So in terms of what's performative is that when you want a certain outcome, you're calculated.
Yeah.
You're doing it from your own maybe insecurity, right?
Right.
Mostly people are performative because of their own insecurity. They're trying to fill a gap, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the sense of being like whole and complete and enough just the way they are now. And we all can have our aspirations and our dreams and who we want to be and how we want to be remembered.
Yeah.
But you're authentic if you feel like you are your most beautiful self when you're in absolute devastation, when everything is awful.
Yeah.
You're still, you know, such a beautiful person. If you can think that about yourself, then you're good. Yeah, the point of like why I think the wellness industry is very performative is because I feel like it's become a chore. It's become like a title. It's become like rather than it being like a byproduct of like a lifestyle, like that's just something that's a given, like that we should treat ourselves well, that we should have balance in our life, and that we should, of course, learn, explore, through a curious eye rather than, oh my God, I need to do this because like I want to fit into that group and like I want to be with them and I want to sit on those meetings. So yeah, that's why I think like that business has become such a big business. Same with
Yeah.
spirituality.
Yeah.
Really,
But there's something beautiful you said in the beginning about authenticity, that you're the direct reflection of your environment or the top 5 people you hang out with.
Oh yeah, so much.
Yeah.
To have like this like really rigid idea of who you are, I think is like it's good to know who you are in your core, like your values and stuff, but no, we should all just be very, very open about change and changing our, behaviors and our patterns and our way of expression. Like, I think that's ultimately life, to experience the most out of life. We need to be so flexible. But of course, if you like your 5 friends and for the whole life and that's going amazing for you, like I know, for example, my family, like we've worked through so many things and so many changes and so many things. They will never
Yeah.
leave my side. I want them forever by my side.
Yeah.
That's my safe space.
Yeah.
Past that, I just want to experience as much as possible.
That's
to
true.
see like who is this, what can I become?
Yeah.
What is this monster I can create?
Yeah. Yeah, last time while exploring with Julius as well, I asked him like, "Oh, where did you got this done? Where did you got this done?" And he was like, "Oh, my brother did this. Oh, my wife did this." And I was like, "Dude, your everything is in house."
Yeah, everything is in house. I was just today, like in my journal, like it was the first thing I woke up was like the gratitude of just family when I know I'm lucky, but I also know how much work, how much we've all had to put ourselves down, our egos down, like the conversations, I mean, that I have with my parents or the conversation we've had has been internally in our companies, like it's not normal, and it's really, really hard conversation. It's really hard on the sleeve. You would say entrepreneurship is the best personal development tool. Do entrepreneurship with your family and you'll see what the best personal development tool is. That's just on another level.
Yeah. So, Dina, you called out people creating content during crisis for validation. What do you think these people are going through and what are they trying to prove?
I mean, I've been in that position myself. Some sort of neglect that they have maybe felt like throughout their whole upbringing. I mean, there's most people experienced when they were supposed to experience unconditional love from their environment and from their caretakers. It was conditional.
Yeah.
And so I think social media is just like the perfect big brother, system that they made
Yeah.
for us to project all of those traumas that we have. And one of them is like seeking validation through likes and views and whatever, because it's like yeah, it's the perfect way to directly fill, a a hole
Yeah.
inside of us.
Yeah.
And we all have that hole. To
Yeah, I
some
mean,
degree.
being
It's
seen. Being
being
seen.
seen.
Yes.
Yeah. And then to be seen in your realness and in your authenticity is neither rewarded by social media algorithms.
Yeah.
Because if it was, then we wouldn't have this landscape of like super niched things. And because like everybody knows that you're not just, I mean, you're not just a podcaster. Like,
Yeah.
or I mean, that's a bad example. Your podcast is a business, right? So that's a different type of social media. But when it comes to personal brands, like it's, I don't want to believe that, oh, I am only into fashion. That's not true.
Yeah.
You're so much more
That's right.
than that. And I pray to God that it's going to change through your life
Yeah.
too as well, and that you can show it. But yeah, I think people have, and they just find these ways of, how do I present myself in order to get a recognition, some love, some, and they don't make that connection that it's actually about unconditional love. You want somebody to love you unconditionally.
Right.
And what you're doing, seeking that validation on social media is completely counterproductive. It's never going to stop. You're going to be on an endless search of performance.
Right.
In order to get a validation that's going to give instant gratification, but nothing really long lasting.
So we gonna discuss some practical frameworks which you have used in your life from being zero to where you are now.
Okay.
So how does someone know if they are making decisions from fear versus trust?
When you're making decisions out of fear, you are plotting everything in your head. There is unfortunately a little bit of an autopilot amongst all of us when it comes to making decisions out of fear. Unfortunately, I think that most of us are programmed that way, to make decisions from fear. But to make decisions from trust is again something that it's something that you train, and you start building that trust of like, okay, I'm on a roll here, and that builds kind of like trust more and more, and then something can break that wave, right? But that's the whole thing. It's like, okay, here's a learning lesson. There's something I need to learn here, and then so that's why I'm saying why I believe experiencing life truly and thinking that it's for us, not like against us. It's for us to learn how to trust more
Right.
in ourselves,
Right.
and then continue to explore and to try to catch the wave again.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable that the wave will break.
Yeah.
All waves break. There also comes a new one, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's it's unfortunate that our baseline is fear, because like I said, it's the program. It's the program that we want to get out of.
Right.
And rewrite with surfing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like this metaphor you used of the waves. Like, if you're on a wave, it's gonna end, but there's gonna be a new wave too.
There's gonna be a new wave too. Yeah. Don't give up on the wave once you're at it as well. Like don't just kind of try to be a little bit like, okay, I caught something here. All right, okay, let's see. Ooh, keep the balance. All right, okay, that thing came. Okay, if that thing came now, let's go. Let's do.
Yeah.
Once it becomes too much resistance, just know that perseverance, sometimes beyond the resistance also, is like a huge new wave. Right? Like, so perseverance is also really important. Like sometimes, I mean, I know now that I'm kind of in this flow of like trusting a lot and trusting, I notice that when there comes a day of resistance, it's like the whole day, everything is just going wrong. I'm like, what's happening? What did I do? Like, and then you kind of have to laugh about it a little bit, like maintain that. That is the moment to maintain the trust, by the way. When everything comes like at you at once, that is when you're like, okay, just observe. What can I do? How can I laugh a little bit about this whole thing? And then, you're being tested, right? And it's because on the other side, there's an even bigger, there's something that's unlocked on that other side. If you're gonna feed that resistance
Yeah.
with your own resistance, you're just gonna stay there for days
Yeah.
instead of for a day.
Right. So, what's the first step for someone who recognizes they are choosing familiar pain over unknown power?
If you feel like you're repeating patterns, if you feel like your life is just you're ended up with the same kind of dude, dating the same kind of guys, and then you're asking why me? It's like because you're repeating
Yeah.
of like familiar pain.
Right.
And it's in that self-exploration, both the inward journey and the outward journey, where you are breaking cycles. That's the only way. You have to go in and you have to go out as well. Challenge yourself like through what it is that you have, realized, and then change it on the
Outside.
outside,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So many people have all this self-awareness. They're not doing anything with it.
Right.
The
The
action
execution is
there.
not there.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where embodiment comes in. It's like it's here, but your body is not operating after your new beliefs. So it's really important to take it down into the body actionating the things as well.
Yeah. So, first is to recognize the pattern and then getting aware about it and then execution, the
Exactly.
steps you're going to take after that to fix that.
And relationships are I think the most beautiful way of analyzing that, and whether it's friendships or business partners or relationships, dating is such it's such personal development work.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you can just by choosing to go down a path you haven't gone down before with a person, just out of sheer curiosity and know, like, if you can see that the person is a good person. I mean, nobody's perfect, but it's not a narcissist.
Yeah.
Like, then explore. Like, I feel like so many women, like when they do all their, healing and so on, like they're not giving, the good guys a chance.
Right.
Like to because they're just like I don't know. They need something more. Or it's boring. It's like, go explore that. See, because that's where you will ultimately gain more experience, and you will be able to apply all this healing that you have done. But no, instead these women, they choose to be alone, and there's never any guys anymore. It's like there are plenty of guys.
Yeah, and I think
challenge yourself.
Yeah, when you're gonna look out for what you want, but first you have to be clear in your head that what you actually want.
Yeah.
And then if you're gonna be on a lookout for that, and it's not only just for the relationships, I think this applies in every field of your life. That if you're being clear and then you look out for that exact thing, you're definitely gonna get it.
You will get it, but also you have to understand that if now that you're clear, just because you are clear, it doesn't mean that you know how that looks. I didn't know Julie was the guy for me. It took me 3 years to realize that he's my soulmate. I just fell in love with his heart, and I knew that, like, the foundation, some things are there, but like from the first day, I knew I could write a whole list of things that was wrong with him too. Seriously, because of our own ego and inexperience. Every new person is a new experience, right?
Right.
So yes, you can have clarity of what you want, but also you never know, like, that it can actually be much better than what you think in the things that didn't at all seem to make sense.
Yes.
In the dating game, because of this whole, online dating and stuff, and it's so transactional.
Right.
And it's so like, okay, so check, nope, check, no, sorry, next.
Yeah.
Which is complete,
Yeah, it's a complete waste of time.
What about exploration? What about just becoming friends?
Right.
And then seeing, like, wait a minute, this guy actually completes me. It's not even about, like, clarity, like my what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's that it's a puzzle.
And sometimes it's about evolving together.
Oh, a whole 1,000,000%.
Yes.
Like, we would have not had stand a chance being together unless we both had a desire to grow together. I mean, that's foundation,
Yeah.
number one.
So you have built this incredible community in Dubai. What's the difference between authentic community and networking?
Networking is just more transactional. And it can be more useful maybe for, creating certain connections that could lead you to maybe to a really authentic connection. I mean, it can lead you to anything, really. But I think that an authentic community is just more about your soul. Like, it's just more about being in a space where you can recalibrate and not be in that state of like, oh, I came here with the end goal. Just be yourself for a little bit. And then, because also I think we need to realize that that's a very powerful and high frequency to be in the space of just being yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it is that you're talking to somebody or not, or making a new friend or not, just being yourself is a very, very high frequency and will lead you to your next kind of unfolding, right? So I think in an authentic community, you can get where you want, like in just one connection.
Yeah.
It could be like the biggest leap that you made in your life because you're in such a high frequency state.
Yeah.
Right. And while it's a networking event, it's more like, okay, it's kind of like, it's like quantity over quality.
Yeah, and just like how you mentioned about the dating apps, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. But when you think about it, even in networking events, it does come down to authenticity.
That's true.
In a way.
Yes.
It does come down to who do you connect with.
Right.
Right? Like, and especially the more prone you are to, for example, when I go to a networking event, I don't talk to anybody. I wait. I'm just like observing, and then I know that and I have deep trust in myself that, the people that I will end up talking to is the people that I'm going to connect with. So I make the move too. It's not like I'm sitting in a corner and just
waiting for him. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not pushing anything in those kind of spaces. And because I do believe that there's a lot of authentic relating there too. But yeah, when we create an environment like soul sessions that is for the soul, like, it's just beautiful, to see people in their, highest expression and self. And then there are really like, it's a beautiful foundation for people to really connect, right?
True.
So yeah, it's very cute.
Yeah. So Dina, any last piece of advice you want to give to our audience?
Well, I mean, I don't like giving advice.
But anything you want to share?
Anything I want to share. Think about whether you are feeling underexpressed in your life. Do you because there's a lot of things that we're doing right now where we are, all of these healing modalities, practices, the optimizations, whatever, we're being bombarded with all of these things and tools that we can do. But before you apply a new thing, ask yourself, am I doing this just to, hop on a new trend or make me feel better? Or is there a way where I could express myself rather than having somebody else, tell me what to do?
Yeah.
Because I love this notion of maybe we're not that dysregulated. Maybe we're just underexpressed.
Right.
So
that's a really powerful piece of advice. And thank you so much, Dina, for being here.
Thank
and
you so much
I
for
wish
having
you all the luck.
Thank you.
And good wishes for the
Yes.
newborn. And
He's
I mean, it's
coming.
gonna be a whole new journey for you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
Oh my gosh, we're definitely stepping into a whole new sense of trajectory. We'll see.
All right.
Thank you so much, brother.